Okay, I just wanted to change your view. Okay. If it wasn't clear enough that I'm an art student in this whole channel and like how I'm speaking about this thing. So I wanted to make this video because I have a lot of feelings, and you can tell so by how many pages I have regarding this one topic. And unfortunately, it might take a few videos or a few hours. We will see how long it takes for me to finish this video. I'm really trying to make it to Pride Month, and because of that, I may have to cut up this video into two. Because I'm gonna need to talk about AnderPerry. So, a little bit of backstory. Will people need backstory? Yes, I'm serving you Neil Perry studying for trigonometry with his study group. Yeah. So many layers. We're in the Philippines. It's hot. Let's see if I'm able to finish this video, or at least half of it, so I can show the world how much I'm obsessed with fucking AnderPerry, okay? So, disclaimer, this kind of video is for entertainment purposes, also for like people who really people like me who really need people to validate a lot of like ideas and feelings about this particular ship, because like it's not that we would die if nobody agreed with us. Like we know that there are some people who don't see it that way, so it's fine. But I think because it's such an old show and like it's no longer talked about in popular media, it's because it's like it was made in 1989. You know how there are classic movies where people will constantly talk about it as like some sort of like peak cinema and stuff like that. I think Dead Poet Society deserves way more analysis and a lot more recognition, but without the need for a remake, without it needing to have so much, like you don't need to add new political ideas to it, you just have to apply what you know in terms of stuff in literature, stuff in filmmaking. Basically, all I'm saying is, I'm gonna use my degree for this, okay? As a person who took up multimedia arts for a degree in college and ended up barely using it, right? Because I basically, multimedia arts, it's like a fancy advertising thing. I ended up preferring to be an illustrator. Freelance illustrator. Examples of my work, of AnderPerry also, and also some examples of the stuff I do on the side. But yeah, basically, I took up a lot of art history courses and at least one it was literally called cinema appreciation. So I took up cinema appreciation, where we have to literally do what I'm doing now. We have to analyze a lot of films. So I think rather than throwing my degree away and not using it for anything, I want to make more video essays like this, and I want to start specifically with Dead Poet Society, because you have no idea how much it affected me within a month of watching it. Like, as of this moment, I have last watched it, I think, 40 days ago. That's how much I've been affected by this movie, this 32-year-old movie, might I add. And it's completely encompassed my whole worldview for a bit. Like, I haven't changed as a person, but like, I'm suddenly interested in a lot more things again. This whole quarantine, I knew I was changing as a person again, because I feel like I was regressing back into my high school self. But I think if I saw this movie in high school, I would not have felt the same. I feel like I did. I feel like there was some sort of conspiracy where my whole batch watched it and I didn't watch. I feel like, I'm not sure if it was because it's such a popular movie that I know some references, and maybe I saw the standing up on the desk scene a lot, or I genuinely only saw the ending. I genuinely only saw the ending, or like some in the start of the show. I probably only saw like a few parts at the start and the ending, and I probably went out for lunch because they probably watched it during their lunchtime, and they watched without me, and I wasn't sure if I was upset or if this is a repressed memory, and I was very hurt by Neil's spoiler. By the way, spoiler, if you have not watched Dead Poet Society and you're watching these videos of mine, just know I will spoil the hell out of this movie. I will probably give you an assumption that there is like so many things in this movie where you won't be able to like unsee it or notice like something else when you're watching it on your own. So I prefer that you watch the show for yourself, think about the movie yourself, you know, make your own assumptions, and then come back. And let me completely change everything if you haven't thought about it yet. This is a really bad introduction, by the way. And this is a horrible background. But this is all you're getting. Because I'm rambling. I'm legitimately rambling right now. So based on that ramble, I think I'm gonna have to make multiple videos talking about Dead Poet Society, AnderPerry, probably do a better analysis of the movie. Right? I'll have my own analysis of the movie as some sort of video essay and like some half academic that I could do. Yeah, hold up. Just so it doesn't go in my face. And I will still touch my hair a lot. I am a hair toucher. Like, need you here to stay. Executive decision. Okay, this video, I don't know where I'm gonna put this part of the video. So basically, I'm going to need to make a lot of videos. This video is basically going to be titled 24-year-old talks about Dead Poet Society for way too long. I will need to talk about my initial experiences with this movie and the actor. I will talk about them as much as I want. I don't care who doesn't see this. I just have a lot of feelings. I wrote down just so I don't ramble as much. So this video is a prologue. If you watch me personally, I didn't have a lot of direction with my videos apart from sometimes you get a shitpost, sometimes you'll have me talking about art, and you're gonna get videos like these where I just want to talk about something I'm passionate about, even though I only know the tip of the iceberg, probably. And that is Dead Poet Society. Literally, I bought a bunch of dark academia style clothes because I wanted to look the part. Unfortunately, my pink gamer chair doesn't seem to have the same idea. No. So where do I begin about Dead Poet Society? Okay, it first started when our whole house had no Wi-Fi. Even though I had work where all I had to do was draw offline, I really preferred watching YouTube videos like these, like analysis and review videos, because I needed something to listen to at least while I was drawing. I did acquire Dead Poet Society offline, and I will not mention how, and my doomy dumb brain thought that like I need like a relaxing film to watch while I'm drawing. I genuinely thought that Dead Poet Society was an art film. I knew something about dead stuff. I immediately assumed maybe it was Mr. Keating. I immediately assumed like the wrong stuff. Like I don't know why I thought what I thought about Dead Poet Society. Like seriously, if you have not watched Dead Poet Society and you're going in blind, you're probably like me. I didn't know what Dead Poet Society was about, and I like went with it. So I was watching a movie that I assumed was a coming of age movie that was just artistic, and oh boy, I look way better like this. I can kneel more like in this hairstyle. So I began watching it while drawing, and coming from a person who watched a lot of like art films as an artist, I was at this era like right now, especially during quarantine. I had like a whole thing where I started watching movies that were made before my time. So, you know, just so I'm cultured in a way, watching these like The Shining, I watched Castaway, basically whatever's on my net that had like old movie stuff that was made right before my birthday, like around like the 1990s and beyond. By the way, I was born 97, I'm not that young. I assumed not a lot of things from Dead Poet Society, other than just what I knew from references. And when I tell you I see a lot of Dead Poet Society references, I do literally just know the standing on the desk scene and people saying that it's a bleak film. But I didn't understand what they meant by bleak at all. I just knew something about Dead Poets Society. You're gonna be a bitch to edit. Okay. So yeah, I started watching it. Didn't expect a lot. Again, I watched it because I was bored. I did not expect to have my whole life turned around in one night, okay? So while I was drawing, I had to kind of stop in the middle because I kind of got more and more intrigued by the messages of the video. Before this actually happened, my friend and I were actually talking about the arts, and that's why she recommended me this movie, because I'm a part-time workshop teacher, or like a part-time person who teaches other people how to draw. I was explaining to my friend, because I taught her sister how to draw, I was explaining why some kids have like a harder time with starting out how to draw. It's because they're still getting used to the idea of things. There's a lot of metaphysics involved in art and drawing, and people don't realize that. And the more and more that you live your life, and the more you get like ideas of things, the more you're able to reinterpret it into various different mediums. So I think I was telling her that topic, and then she told me, oh, so you must really like Dead Poet Society, right? And then I told her I've never watched it, and then she told me that I should watch it because like I would probably really like stuff like that based on what I said. And I was assuming that this was like some kind of philosophy movie about metaphysics, and they're actually going to discuss the stuff I said. Oh boy, not only did they not really talk about what I said, but like they did something better. The thing with Dead Poet Society is, at this point in time, you already understand the lessons that they're showing. You already understand the whole moral of the story, right? Like, you've seen it countless times. But in a way, Dead Poet Society was one of the firsts. And that's why it hit me more, because it's a very simple moral, but it is told in a way that it's concise, but it's so powerful. Like, why, when, like, not to say that this is the first of its kind, but like, at 1989, telling a movie with that kind of lesson, goddamn. And obviously, I cried my heart out after, okay, again, spoiler warning, if this is like, again, if you aren't gone by now, this is your spoiler warning. So, more backstory, when I was first watching the goddamn movie, I immediately loved Neil Perry. Well, liked first, because he reminded me of my boyfriend. I was like, oh, he looks like a cute twink, just like my boyfriend. The more I watched, the more I both kinned and really enjoyed his face. Like, everything that comes out of Robert Sean Leonard's portrayal of Neil Perry, I would die for. And I would make a separate video just about Robert Sean Leonard. But like, I should have expected something. Again, I didn't know anything about the movie. But then I did remember a spoiler just as it was about to happen. After the parts where Neil's dad is like, getting mad at him, I was legitimately yelling for him. Like, I was yelling him to tell him, stand. I was like this. Tell him! Tell your dad off! Like, I was legitimately crying towards the computer, and I was like so livid with this situation, because like, growing up in an Asian family, you will get that kind of parent. We lived at Neil Perry. That's why we kin to Neil Perry. If you're Asian, you're most likely kinning to Neil Perry, because that's exactly how it feels like. Like, I'm not saying that like it's more likely only for Asians, but I'm just saying that there is a lot of like fighting in households where especially that you really have to speak up for yourself if you want to get, especially in the arts, right? If you want to get into the arts. So here I was screaming at Neil's parents, especially his mom. Oh god, what his mom didn't even bother to comfort him. Like do something for your son, like anything. So yeah, during the part where he was opening the window, putting on his crown, I thought that, yeah, he's having like a very depressive episode right now. I really hope he pulls through. Maybe he's gonna run away and that's like a happy ending. Or at least like it's tragic, but at least he's running away. And then the scene where he starts to walk outside his room, not only did I have a gut-wrenching feeling, I remembered a spoiler. That somebody said, Perry dies. And obviously, I was in disbelief. I was hoping to God that that memory, that small memory in my brain, was wrong. Either that person was like lying to me, or I genuinely made that up. But
the more the scene progressed, it tore me apart. Like, all I could do was say, no, 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 please, no, no way. Are you for real? No, please, no. And then, the rest of the movie happened, and the ending, especially the Todd scene. Sis, the Todd. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, aside from that, instead of talking about something sad, the parts with Knox, at first it started off cute, but the more they go with that subplot, the more I got so pissed off. I know this was made in the 1980s, but like, there's no excuse to be that fucking creepy, right? Like maybe because I'm that young that I don't understand what like the thing was with no consent stuff back in the day, but like that's really gross. Like, I would understand kissing her if she was awake, right? But like, like even if she didn't, there's the fact that you kissed her forehead when she was unconscious and she had a boyfriend. Like, oh, that's creep territory. It's like so much creep territory. I could not root for Knox, especially the part where he went to her school. That's like really not even weird. It's like disrespectful. And then the scene where she goes to his school and they get all flirty and all that stuff. Like sis, you have a boyfriend and you're really picking the creep who did that to you. So like that whole subplot wasn't right. And yes, I was one of the people who really hated Cameron when he did this stuff. But like in retrospect, Cameron was just, what he did was a dick move. Richard. It was a dick move, but it's his character. Where, like, if you were just a student who weren't really rebellious, you were just doing what you were told. And you're not the same as Neil or Charlie. I really understand, look, you were just a kid, and, like, you were made to believe that what you were doing was right. So I understand. Like, I did hate what he did, but it happens when you're a student. You're a kid. He's a kid. He didn't know any better. He couldn't destroy his future for this one thing. He didn't think of it that way yet. It's completely valid for him to feel that way. But still a Richard move, if I would say so. So yeah, yada yada. Neil's departing really affected me that night. I cried myself to sleep that night. I cried my heart out thinking about Neil Perry. And the next day, I was left half a burrito for lunch and I couldn't eat it. I really love the burritos my mom makes. For some reason, I couldn't focus on it. I couldn't focus on the burrito because I was like so sad, to the point that I had to tell my grandmother and my dad why I was so sad. Sometimes I'm too empathetic with a lot of movies, so like that's why I don't watch a lot of movies with major character death. Especially if I like the character, it really affects me. But it's really strange because you see a lot of deaths in movies, like I've already experienced a lot of those. I don't feel that sad. But why is it like Neil Perry's death affected me more than I could imagine? Even until now, I didn't think that I could get that affected by a major character's death, right? So yeah, like I was looking for anything as a coping mechanism, like legitimately. I was legitimately looking for some sort of coping mechanism. I didn't fully see Neil and Todd as like couple material yet. Like I didn't ship them like that because like, I wasn't really paying attention. The more I researched on Dead Poet Society, like I rewatched bits of it, I even saw deleted scenes. My coping mechanism was, one, researching a lot of Robert Sean Leonard, obviously. Two, researching young Robert Sean Leonard and Ethan Hawke. And somehow it led to me typing in Neil and Todd, and then it then recommended me AnderPerry, and oh my god, the floodgates were opened. We'll have more discussions on Robert Sean and Ethan Hawke, but like I haven't felt this way since I was in high school. I haven't been obsessed this much with anything as I was when I was in K-pop fandom. And a slight trigger warning, I'll be talking about a person I used to like fan, a celebrity I used to like before he passed away. So if you know who I'm talking about, you can skip ahead. But yeah, basically I was a really big fan of Kim Jong-hyun from SHINee, and I liked him ever since 2012, I think, when my friends introduced me to K-pop, and I immediately gravitated towards him, became very like active in the fandom. And in college I wasn't able to interact as much in the fandom, but I was a really big fan of his like work and like what he did as like a soloist and all that stuff. One day, right, the day before, I had like an internship interview. That's when the news broke, and I haven't been on Twitter in a while, and like I had to stay on Twitter the whole time and all that stuff. And if you know what happened to him, he unfortunately took his own life. Things like that really do affect me, I think. Anyone who I have an attachment to who does that, I think for anyone, you would feel very hurt. You would feel very you'd feel very troubled, and that's what I felt with he was my ultimate bias, mind you. And so we have here the same interest that I had, like not like the same level, but like the seeds of it when I started liking Neil Perry, and then he does the thing at the end, and I'm like, here we go again? Why? But I'm incredibly happy that it was a fictional person this time, and that I could like see Robert Sean Leonard grow up and still do a lot of things. I think that really coped with how I felt about the movie. And obviously, I researched a bunch of Robert Sean Leonard movies, watched Much Ado About Nothing, which I very much recommend because it has a lot of good scenes with Robert Sean Leonard. Like seriously, if you like Robert Sean Leonard, just like I do, just watch it. Yeah, the AnderPerry thing, I will actually get into that in another video, because that is a very detailed video on why I think that you should rewatch, you should watch it first on your own and then rewatch it with the understanding of gay subtext. That's a whole nother video. So where is this video leading to? I really like Dead Poet Society. It's an underrated film. Like obviously everyone knows about Dead Poet Society, especially like older kids. But if you're looking for a really good classic film, and remember, I want you to go into like this kind of film the way you would watch an art film. It's not one of those films that you watch for fun. It's a film that you watch when you want to change your worldview. That's how I could describe Dead Poet Society. I watched it probably at the wrong time, but I'm really super fucking glad I watched it when I did. Because I think I wasn't like in a bad place when I was watching it. I didn't know what I wanted exactly. I was still having troubles with my art itself, and I was having trouble with socially. I wasn't like, it was like a different kind of like low, so I needed like a pick-me-up, and I think this is like a really good video at that time. I didn't think I needed it. You know, in retrospect, maybe I should have watched it at a time where I wasn't bored or when I wasn't that sad. But I'm really happy I watched Dead Poet Society. And I hope that when you do watch Dead Poet Society as well, you will get the same enjoyment. And I hope we become mutuals on Tumblr, Twitter, maybe Instagram, please. Like, I need more, maybe TikTok. I have been making so many TikToks. Like, I have been making endless TikToks. I've been making so many TikToks. I just need more and more people to just appreciate this movie. I know we're a small fandom, but this movie is so good. It's so good. So good. Like, I will legitimately make 4 more videos. I will make more videos about this movie. This video is just me talking about how I saw the movie, like how I started watching it. You have no idea. I don't even know how to edit this. Closing remarks. I will be saying I'm trying to make jokes, but it's like it's really I just love this fucking movie. Like it's already up there in my list. Like if he asked me before what my favorite movie was, and until now I would still say the Back to the Future trilogy. And I think I haven't really rose a movie to my top whatever movie until the Boat Society, because like all I could do is talk about it. Like if you literally ask my friends, my boyfriend, people I met on the internet, what I have been doing for the past how many 40 days, it's been talking about Dead fucking Poet Society. Fucking Dead Poet Society. And if you ever come across this video, and if you ever finish this video, do tell me how you came across watching Dead Poet Society. Honestly, I really do want to know how you ended up watching this video as well. Also, Line Without a Hook by Ricky Montgomery is probably an AnderPerry anthem too, so yeah, if you want to see the rest of my videos, if you want to wait for them, you can subscribe, like this video, tell me if this is a good idea. I will still make the videos regardless if you comment, subscribe, or anything. I just really want to put my feelings out there. If you have other videos you would like me to make video essays on, I will make like a more proper video essay on this. Go ahead and comment. I have a few movies that I intend to watch eventually. I'm gonna watch Kill Your Darlings, I think, Maurice, Dorian Gray. Basically, I'm on the hunt for Dark Academia. Okay, that was like my first instinct to watch Dark Academia, but also my next instinct was to watch Robert Sean Leonard. But yeah. So other videos that you might be interested in, that is it's nothing like this video, but like it's probably a good video, or this video here where specifically it is me pulling for Klee for her second banner. Don't ask me why I wanted to include that. I just really want you to see how funny I am in it. Right.